How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gab.
With Toni Kroos and Luka Modric both being rested ahead of the Champions League return against Chelsea, took Real Madrid ages to finally score. But eventually they broke through against Osasuna. Jules, they're still in this.
Yeah, they are, Gab. It wasn't
pretty. Live to fight another day.
I know, they did indeed. It was not pretty. They only created something on set pieces. To be fair, Eder Militao could have had a hat-trick of headers.
He's looking good.
I mean, I never thought I would say that Eder Militao was Real Madrid's best player one day. But he was against Osasuna and scored the first goal, the most important one. And then Casemiro was lucky on his second one. But it's a win, and now they can focus on Chelsea.
Varane, though.
And on Sevilla. Varane.
We'll see. Maybe Sergio Ramos to come back. I think that's still up in the air.
Ramos, yeah. But again, injuries have really hit them this season anyway. Marcos Llorente scores and gives away a penalty late for Atletico Madrid away to Elche. But Gab, it worked out in the end somehow.
It worked out because the guy from Elche somehow hit the ball against the post. Yeah. I have to say, though, and we said this before, this was a good Atletico Madrid performance. I know now at this end it's all about results, but this was a game where they actually played well and won and could have scored more. Yeah. I'm okay with it next week against Barcelona. It's going to be huge. And in fact, speaking of that, Barca had to come from behind to beat Valencia 3-2. They can go top next weekend. Yeah. Jules, how about that Messi penalty? Or you want to blame Messi for the Messi miss?
You know what?
No. The free kick, rather. Sorry.
No, but last time, remember, he gave the penalty to Antoine Griezmann to score. Griezmann took it, scored it, and maybe he should have done the same against Valencia. The most important is the Messi-Greasy partnership. They've scored the last 7 goals of Barcelona. They look really good with each other, assisting each other, creating for each other, scoring together. And I think that's very positive with the end of the season to come.
Super positive. Also, Frankie de Jong. I thought another huge game. And on the penalty miss, did you notice who it was who somehow outruns everybody, keeps the ball back in play, and puts it back in for Messi to score? Sergio Busquets.
Yeah, that's right. I never saw him running so exactly. I never seen him running
unbelievable.
So quickly.
But quick mind, Jules.
Yeah, quick mind.
Kai Havertz scores twice. That's your line. Go for it.
Kai Havertz scores twice as Chelsea beat Fulham 2-0 on Saturday. Gab, how are they looking ahead of that big game against Real Madrid that we just mentioned?
This was the first game where all the big summer signings all started, apparently, this season. I had no idea. Timo Werner turned provider, which is good. Maybe he's better at that than finishing. But Kai Havertz is a supremely gifted person. This whole, he's a false
movement is fantastic.
The guy's sense of space is just tremendous. So maybe he is Chelsea's long-term center forward.
Maybe.
Paris Saint-Germain beat Lens 2-1 and are sweating on Mbappe for the semi-final return leg. Jules, Marquinhos scores another header. How are they looking? Kylian will be back, yeah?
Kylian will be back. They're very, very hopeful. He only trained on his own on Sunday, not with the rest of the team, but that was part of the plan. So they're hoping that he would be okay to go, even if he's not fully fit and 100%. He will be there for what is the biggest game of the season on Tuesday. A City for them, but hey, as we said, they're still in that title race, still fighting, putting pressure on Lille. So we will see what happens then. Gab, events at Old Trafford meant that Manchester City had to wait to celebrate their title. They would have done it had Liverpool beaten United. But they beat Crystal Palace 2-0 on Saturday, and we can celebrate the final act of Sergio Aguero at City, right? With a goal. Lovely, great goal.
Who knows? Maybe he'll score in the Champions League final. But look, it was a good goal. I just love the way, he kills it with one, scores with the other. Vintage Aguero. I have no idea if he can play at this level consistently anymore or what it means, but I do know that City fans certainly appreciate what he's brought to the club in the near decade that he's been there. Gareth Bale backs a hat-trick as Spurs beat up Sheffield United. Jules, was this too little, too late? Or would things have been different if we'd seen more of him earlier?
What, if he had played against Sheffield United every week?
I knew you were going with that.
I'm sorry, Gareth. I don't know. I mean, you and I could have played and maybe scored against Sheffield United in that game. I mean, Spurs were good and good for Ryan Mason. Two wins in those 2 league games. And for Gareth Bale, maybe he's thinking, let me finish on a high or as high as possible. And
it's good news for Real Madrid, right?
It's good news for Real Madrid and for Zinedine Zidane, his favourite player ever. Sticking with Spurs, after being turned down by Julien Nagelsmann, who chose Bayern Munich, Erik ten Hag, who decided to stay at Ajax, and Brendan Rodgers, who did the same, they're now being linked to Rafael Benitez and Ralf Rangnick.
Okay, so I think whenever you've got an open, you have an opening on your bench, these two guys are always going to come into the mix.
Yeah,
Not
always.
because they put themselves forward, because others put themselves forward. And you always say, all right, Rafa Benitez, and then they're two different profiles, right? Ralf Rangnick, I get the man who created Julian Nagelsmann. And, it's like I get the older, more German version of Julian Nagelsmann.
Yeah. And Tuchel to some extent.
His contribution's been tremendous.
Yeah.
Rafa, hey, who doesn't love Rafa, right?
Yeah.
Rafa's been there, done that. I don't know that for where Spurs are now, either one is a good solution. My thing, if you bring in Ralf Rangnick, you got to give him the keys. Daniel, get out of the building.
That's not going to happen, right?
Not going to happen.
Okay.
If you bring in Rafa, I think you only go to a certain point, and then you either have to put more money in, or Rafa starts being Rafa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rafa Benitez would be a tremendous short-term solution if they're going to wait, a couple years. If you're thinking long-term, I'm not sure. Cristiano Ronaldo scores twice in the last 10 minutes, as Juventus are a bit fortunate, to say the least, to beat Udinese 2-1. Jules, some even say defeat would have cost Andrea Pirlo his job. This is not a good performance.
Not good at all. They were 1-0 down until the 83rd minute, and then Cristiano scored 2 goals, but they didn't play well again. Where they're lucky is that in the meantime, Napoli dropped points, and Atalanta dropped points, and, the others won. But
also very lucky that the reason Cristiano scored a penalty because he's taking a free kick.
Yeah.
Rodrigo De Paul, who's been phenomenal player.
For Udinese.
He's standing at the end of the wall. He decides, oh wait, why don't I jump? Why don't I make sure I put my arm out like this, basically vertical?
But do you think it's a reflex? Like you can't, a bit like Marcos Llorente against Elche, where in a sense that the ball is there and
don't do stupid things on reflex.
Milan beat Benevento 2-0 to relieve some pressure before the big game against Juventus next weekend. But Gab, the pressure is still on Donnarumma, who got a visit from the Ultras.
Yeah, this is a serious situation because obviously Donnarumma out of contract. There's an offer on the table. Donnarumma's agent is Mino Raiola. He was visited by Milan supporters at the training ground who said, listen, unless you sign the contract and commit to us, we strongly suggest that you not play that weekend. You not play against Juventus. And you know what? In some ways, I understand their point of view. I'm not going to impugn Donnarumma's integrity, but if he plays and he makes a mistake, even an honest mistake, and then he joins Juventus, it's not going to be a good look, and it's going to go and haunt him for the rest of his career. I think, look, we don't want fans intimidating players, and obviously that's completely wrong. I think Paolo Maldini coming out and saying, we're freezing all contract negotiations from now on. I want Donnarumma to go out there, keep goal, play a great game, and maybe make it so that Juventus can't sign him because you beat them and they don't go in the Champions League. That's got to be his mindset right now.
It should be.
Arsenal ring the changes and beat Newcastle. Jules, it's largely irrelevant to the table, but maybe some confidence ahead of the Europa League semi-final return leg against the much-loved Unai Emery?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, certainly a win. A defeat would have brought even more negativity going into that game on Thursday night. At least a win changes that a little bit, changes the mood. It's good. I don't know how many of those starting 11 will start on Thursday, but it's a good goal for Aubameyang as well to score. It's a lovely goal too. And let's just hope that brings a bit of momentum going into that why it's such a huge game on Thursday night that could pretty much almost save their season if they then go on and win this Europa League.
Nice to see a bit of Martinelli.
Yeah, as well.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.